Okay, now let's consider the cylinder. Now the cylinder is great. The cylinder is great. It's got a height, it's got a radius, and we're good to go. All right, how would you find the lateral area? Well, actually, it's really neat. If you think about it, if you just cut open the sides and unfold it, we'd actually just have a rectangle. So we'd have a rectangle here where the height would be still h. And what's this base going to be? Well, the base would be, the length around, which is actually going to be the circumference of the circle, which we know is 2 pi r. So in fact, the lateral area is going to be 2 pi r h. 2 pi r h. And so the lateral area doesn't really require much memory. It just requires really thinking about the fact that when you cut open a cylinder, you get a rectangle. So we see that the lateral area is 2 pi r(h). What about the surface area? Well, all we got to do is add the bottom and the top, which of course we know the area for that is pi r squared, but there's two of them, so we have 2 pi r squared that we add on, and that's all there is to it. Not a big deal at all. Let's take a look at an example where we can see all of this business happening live and in person. Because I know what you're saying. You're saying, you know what? I want to see it live. I want to see it in person. And you know what? You deserve it. Here we go. So we have a cylinder with a circumference of 12 pi centimeters and a height that's equal to 5 times the radius. Wow. Lots of stuff going on here. First of all, if the circumference is 12 pi, what's the radius? Well, the radius is going to be what? Well, we know circumference is 2 pi r, and so therefore this equals 2 pi r, which means 12 equals 2r, which means r must be 6. So r's got to be 6 in order for the circumference to be 2 times 6 times pi. So great. So r is 6, and then what's the height? Height is equal to 5 times the radius, so automatically I see the height is 5 times 6, which is 30. All right, now with all that work behind us, let's answer the question of first finding the lateral area for this right cylinder. So what's the lateral area? La! So it's called la! That's the lateral area, LA. Here we go. How would you find that? Well, we know what to do. We take 2 pi r h. So what's 2 pi r? That's going to be 2 times 6, which is 12. 12 pi times h, which is 30. And that equals, well, 12 times 30 is 360 pi. And what are my units? My units are centimeters squared. Okay? That's great. So that's the lateral area. What about the entire surface area? Well, I've got to now add the area of the top circle and the area of the bottom circle. They're both the same circle. So let's just find the area of the circle, which is going to be pi r squared. So that's going to be 6 squared, which is 36 pi, plus another 36 pi for the top. So I see 72 pi for the total area of the bottom and the top. I have to add that to this, and so I get that the surface area equals the sum of these two numbers, which we see is 432 pi centimeters squared. So there's the surface area, there's the lateral area, and you can see that cylinders aren't that big of a deal. Aren't that big of a deal. Neat.